Now it's time to wake up. Kincade and Salchunas is on the air. Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salchunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
And a good Wednesday morning to you, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salchunas alongside my man, John Kincade, on this debate day, Adam Schefter Wednesday. And for those of you sickos who stayed up and watched the Phillies game last night, congratulations. You watched the victory.
Yay.
That's a good win.
I fell asleep.
Yay.
I fell asleep a few times. I am not going to lie. I went in and out.
I saw the Phillies go up 2-0. I saw Aaron Nola dazzling. And I said, oh, man, vintage Knowles is back. I'm going to sleep. I watched about 2 innings. Phillies win 4-3
See, you're lucky
that
you did that. I fell asleep. The NBA game put me to sleep. That was the most, there was no compelling nature to that.
Yeah, the last 3 games have been blowouts, even though they've been going back and forth in terms of who's winning between the Spurs and the Thunder. But last 3 games have been blowouts. But the Phillies get the win yesterday, and they beat the Padres 4-3. They're now back over 500 after they took their dip below 500 during that series with the Guardians. They've won this series already in San Diego.
That's
and
nice.
This is a very important stretch. We've been talking about this stretch for some time now because as you keep on going back in the season, you look back to what some of the storylines, and obviously one of them was, when are they going to fire Rob Thompson? And when they fired Rob Thompson, we looked at the schedule that was ahead of them. We said, if they're going to get back to 500, if they're going to recreate this 2022 magic when they moved on from Girardi at the right time, is this the right time to move on from Thompson? And they went on a tear, right? They started winning games, series after series. They got a couple of sweeps mixed in there. And then the Guardians series happened. We knew that this would be a difficult stretch. Guardians, Padres, Dodgers, Padres. And so far, yeah, they lost one series, but they've already won another.
Well, remember after Rob Thompson came in, they went on the tear.
Yes.
And then I want to remind everybody that then they came back after the All-Star break. And everybody was like, okay, they're coming back home, and they played the Cubs. Mm-hmm. And the Cubs came back into Citizens Bank Park and swept them.
Yep.
And everybody went, well, that was just a mirage. No, it wasn't. A series like that happened.
Did they sweep them twice that year? Didn't they sweep them in the last week of the season?
It could have happened too, but whatever went on, it happened. It's like the things happened in their time frame as far as whatever it is. I don't put too much into what happened last weekend. Was great pitching, but last night, I find it promising. I just had a good feeling about this West Coast trip. It's off to a good start. That doesn't mean that it can't take an ugly turn. But today, with Christopher Sanchez on the mound going for Phillies history in an afternoon baseball game,
love it.
I feel good about it. And you wonder what if momentum really does matter to something. If you go in and sweep the Padres, could momentum really start to build where this team could sustain something for a little bit of a while?
Well, you know what the talk's going to be in the next series, how they match up with the Dodgers.
Sure.
Which, during the regular season, the Phillies typically match up pretty well with them.
They tend to beat the Dodgers in the season series.
And then they were just a bad pitch and one throw and one bad swing. They're a good club. They would have beaten the Dodgers in 5 games had there been a 5th game. So Phillies get the win yesterday. Couple of notes from yesterday's game. Kyle Schwarber was in the leadoff spot yesterday. Trey Turner, who has been struggling mightily.
Magic.
He's been horrible.
He's been horrible.
They drop him in the order, 1 spot, and he goes 2 for 5 with a home run yesterday. How about Bryce Harper with a home run yesterday? 2 for 2 with a walk, or 2 walks yesterday.
2 walks was what I am I a goober to say that the 2 walks to me was actually more promising to see this team working counts and taking some walks? That was actually surprising. Like that was exciting to me to see this team be a little more selective. I want base runners.
Yeah.
I want guys getting on base and everything like that. I'm excited to see it.
And then, of course, the big story, Aaron Nola. 6 innings, just 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, strikes out 5, no walks. And he looked really good yesterday, right? I know he gives up the 2 runs in the 4th inning, the right 4th inning. Aaron Nola has his bad inning, but him settling down after that, again, I went to bed after 2, but him settling down after that is probably the best thing that I can take away from yesterday, because we've seen Aaron Nola give up a couple runs, crooked innings, and the next inning it's not a shutdown inning either. Maybe he gives up a run, but yesterday he shuts down the Padres for 2 more innings. He pitches 6. I mean, that's it. You will take that in outing out of any starting pitcher,
especially
let alone Aaron Nola,
one of your back end rotation guys. I'll take it. I'll take it every single time. And Connor, I know that I saw you put out the tweet. I had nodded off, then I woke up again. I saw you put out the tweet where it's like, okay, it's the Aaron Nola experience. And I think everybody in the Phillies fan base was there with you.
Yeah, going from a no-hitter to 2 runs given up in 2 pitches is not ideal. But this is the 5th straight. So the Phillies have made it a full time through the rotation. Every single starter in a row has given them a quality start. They're going good right now on the mound.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, if they're going to be carried, they're not going to be carried by this lineup. They're going to be carried by this rotation. This rotation is going to be the backbone of what they do, because the batting order sucks. The batting order sucks. It's a bad team that Dave Dombrowski built.
Man, they had some right-handed pop yesterday. JT Realmuto with a home run.
Oh, stop.
Trey, too?
JT Realmuto now has 2 home runs on the season. He's batting .231. There's some
It's great. Guys swinging for the fences instead of swinging. I'm glad the launch.
I don't think JT Realmuto's swinging for the fences. I think JT Realmuto's swinging to try to hit the ball.
Well, the launch angles they talked about in the broadcast last night, you could have fallen asleep by then. The launch angle thing is they've been trying to get, can you hit more line drives? Can you get more? Can they tell them all? Could you hit more line drives? Could you stop trying to swing for the fences and just put the ball in play, is what they're trying to preach to these guys, and they haven't been listening. They're not listening to them. So can you
now they're not listening. I thought with Kevin Long.
No, that's what they're trying to, because Kevin Long is the guy who preaches putting the launch angle. His launch angle is his thing. That's his.
Yeah, but Mattingly.
That's his magic.
Clearly
and that's
his thing.
Mattingly's saying to them, put the ball in play. Let's hit line drives. Let's see what we can do about getting base runners. Let's stop doing it. So we'll see. The solo home runs is cute.
Fired Kevin Long.
It's night. Well, unfortunately, yeah. What are we going to have? We're going to have then Bryce will he'll sulk, and then we'll have Trey Turner will sulk and Schwarber will sulk. Then we'll have problems. We'll have.
This leads us to our topic today, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
What is your relationship like with this Phillies team? And the reason why I bring it up, not because of John's voice that he was just doing. Oh. I'm going back to myself first, but man, we can add to it with what you just did 30 seconds ago. Yesterday, at the end of the show, we were talking about this upcoming Phillies game, or yesterday's Phillies game, and I told you guys I was not going to be staying up. You guys are sickos. I'm not staying up 9 innings. It's 9:40 start. Get the hell out of here. Good for you guys. And I said, I'm pretty sure verbatim, will I watch Aaron Nola give up runs as I'm dozing off to sleep in the second inning? That's bad fandom. Like, I'll be honest. I'll call myself out. Like, that's being a bad fan. Now, there's reason behind it. I don't think I am wrong to believe that Aaron Nola could give up some runs.
You have PTSD is what it is that you've lived through it enough, and you've seen enough of this team.
But it's not a good attitude to have going into a game.
You are not expecting a different result because of what you've seen out of this team over and over and over again, and what they've given you. I don't blame you for your opinion or your thought process, but it is bad fan. It is bad fan behavior, but we're all guilty of bad fan behavior from time to time.
You mean going, Bryce is good as a soul?
No, that's not. No,
that's fair.
Not,
that's
no,
fair
that's not
fandom, Connor.
It's fair. It's fair fan behavior because it's documented fact is that he's going to try to be the GM of the team. He's going to dictate things. He's going to try to complain.
Your man Magic Mattingly had every chance to move on from him, and he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He wanted him.
He doesn't call the shots as far as who's fired. Dave Dombrowski does.
All right, Dave likes him, and Preston likes him, and all these guys like him.
No, Turner does. Schwarber does. Harper does.
You know, we had to hit our Kevin Long quota. We haven't talked about it.
And by the way, Schwarber wasn't going to resign here, reportedly, unless he was here.
Well, then thank God for Kevin Long.
God. I got to tell you this.
Because the Phillies would literally be under 500 without Kyle Schwarber right now.
Well, that's great. I said, we'll check back on this in a few years and see how much it really paid off. But it's going to be, the idea is that we're dictating that the hitting coach of one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, that they continue to follow his Bible of what he wants to do is dictated. Yeah, so I have a bad relationship with that because I think it's a ridiculous thing that 3-star players who are not performing up to the level that we need them to be, except for Schwarber.
Harper's been playing pretty well,
that they
too.
dictate. Yeah, he's having a below-average season. Is that they will
No, he's not, but okay.
You are
he
insane.
is.
This is
but
the
we
craziest.
dictate.
But we'll get
You are having a hell of a morning.
He is. He's having a below-average season, but it's okay. But it dictates that they dictate who the hitting coach is. When the hitting coach isn't doing a damn thing again.
Bryce Harper stinks.
And they're no. Now you're making up
Trey
fake
Turner's
arguments.
Terrible.
You're making up fake. Well, no.
Well, Trey Turner's actually
Trey Turner's been terrible.
Trey Turner
this year.
has been terrible this year.
He's been terrible. Yes, I will say that.
His on-base percentage is below 300.
Connor, he's been terrible.
He's had a terrible season.
But the arguments that we're going to have are not going to be your fake little spins. They're going to be the real things that are actually said.
Oh, so fake little spins.
No,
Okay.
no, Bryce Harper's terrible. No, that's never been said. So we're going to keep them to real things that are said, so you can't spin them to what they're really saying.
Brandon Porter, this is the beauty of YouTube. All right, Brandon Porter on our YouTube chat goes, "I'm waiting for John to complain about Harper," and then it's a little delayed, and then you just start complaining about Harper, and he literally says, "There we go,
there it is, there it is."
All right. So what is our relationship like with this Phillies team? Because John and I have talked about this a lot. There's a lot of revisionist history with the 2022 Phillies that people hated them.
No, they did.
People despised the 2022 Phillies. They did not even want them to make the playoffs. I remember arguing with people. Oh, I want them to miss the playoffs and get embarrassed and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, Dancing on My Own happens, and now we act like we always loved that team. People didn't. People hated that team. People hated JT Realmuto. And
JT Realmuto was despised.
Yeah, the comments that
going
he made.
into that, he was ripped.
Yeah.
We did shows on it.
Bryce Harper hasn't been worth it. Like, there are a lot of things being said about the 2022 Phillies and how much of a disappointment they were and that they sucked. And then the magical run happened, and now everybody is the number one Phillies fan. And I love that. I love when people love their teams. And then the last couple of postseasons have happened where it has not been great. And this year, they came out the gate horribly, but they're back over 500 again. Have the last couple of postseasons impacted people's love with this team enough where they don't really find joy watching the Phillies all the time? Like, I'm trying to figure out where we're at because 2022, you guys didn't like them. That you guys really didn't like them.
No.
And it's okay to say, yeah, I didn't like them at the time. Where are we at now with them?
By the way, do you think they're a likable bunch?
I mean,
like let's start with that.
I don't really like Bryce Harper's
you use the term likable. Kyle Schwarber, I can tell you, is from personal interactions, is an incredibly likable person. Like he is incredibly likable. Do you find them a likable bunch?
Let's go through the order. Yes, Schwarber. Yes, Trey Turner. No, the guy can't even have fun with Elmo. Like I don't find Trey Turner as like a likable guy. I'm sure he's a nice person. I don't know.
I'm sure that no. But like nice person. I think Trey Turner seems like he'd be a good family man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'd be a good family. Bryce Harper, good family man.
Yeah,
everything like that. Bryce Harper, he's not liked in Major League Baseball by his peers. He's not a likable. Like, these guys aren't likable. The Phillies aren't a likable bunch.
His off season has changed the way a lot of people feel about him. Like everything that took place during this off season.
Not elite, sulking about Dave Dombrowski.
Now, look, as much as I could complain about Brandon Marsh, the player at times,
he's likable as hell.
He's a likable guy. Look,
that's
Brandon,
my dude.
Like, I can't hate on Brandon.
Now,
Marsh,
the weird thing is I will tell you, I find he has not performed ever to a level that I thought he would reach. But I find Bryson Stott a likable.
Oh yeah, absolutely
likable type.
Yeah,
but I don't think the Phillies as a bunch.
I would never have a beer with JT Realmuto.
No,
I've said that 100 times.
No.
Like,
JT would walk right by you and you turn to stone.
I think they're like 50-50. The problem is some of the guys that you can't really relate with are some of the guys that have struggled that are also some of their biggest
Well, they're
keys.
the biggest paid players. Like, Edmundo Sosa might be my favorite player from a personality standpoint on the Phillies, likable. And he's a role player.
I could tell you that Philly fans, no matter how much they complained about him, and this is just personal interactions, if they were just at Stateside Live interacting with people, they would have loved Nick Castellanos among the top 5 players on the team. They would have loved Phillies fans just hanging out with, would have loved Nick Castellanos. Yet Nick Castellanos was painted as the Antichrist because some of his antisocial behavior, by the way.
Sure.
He created some of that with his behaviors as a teammate, the way he did things.
Well, and the way that he handled the media sometimes.
But exactly. But the funny thing is that he didn't. And then he would treat you like in a personal interaction. You go, dude, he's really likable. And I would watch him with the staff of the Phillies, with the staff of the stadium, and go, wow, Castellanos is like 10 times more likable than almost every single person in that clubhouse. Right. The way he treated people. It's like, I don't think they're a likable bunch, though.
All right.
Aaron Nola, you think's that likable? He's not unlikable.
He's a 50-50. He doesn't do anything.
No, but I can tell you this. Zach Wheeler is a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Like in a personal interaction. But nobody knows Zach Wheeler.
Right.
Like I don't think they're very.
I know that guy can pump 98. From the right
he's freaking
side.
awesome.
That's what I know about Zach Wheeler.
Exactly. So I don't think they've made themselves a likable bunch.
All right. So what's your relationship like with this Phillies team? Because we talk about the roller coaster ride that has been this Phillies bunch. I think our relationship with them have been a roller coaster ride as well. So let us know, 610-632-0975. Now, another question for you to start this morning off. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts will speak to the media today. Sirianni, a press conference. Hurts, I believe, I don't know if he's going to sit at a podium or be outside his locker.
I think it'll be...
Probably podium. It's Jalen. It's the franchise quarterback of the Philadelphia freaking Eagles.
And he's talking for, like, the kickoff of the new year.
So, honest question.
As opposed to a dishonest one.
Do you want them to be asked about A.J. Brown? Like, just ask about him, whether it's have you talked to AJ, your feelings on the situation, blah, 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 blah. Because as of today, he is still a teammate of Jalen Hurts. And as of today, he is still a player on the team that Nick Sirianni is the head coach of. I know how this goes. We all know what the story is. So maybe nobody even asks it because what's the point?
They're asking.
It's like the Howie Roseman presser from a couple months ago where he goes, do you really think I'm going to answer that question? Because he's been asked 5 different times. You're just hoping that maybe, if you're a media member, you're hoping that one of them slips and finally says something. Do you want Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts to be asked about A.J. Brown?
Can I ask the question that I would say to right now? Well, first off, the Howie question. Why is A.J. Brown not here? Simple question. You don't have to get into any of the drama.
It's voluntary.
Are you trading him? Are you trading him? Are you trading him? Is there?
His answer would be it's voluntary minicamps. It's not mandatory.
So has he expressed a reason why he's not here? Because there have been other voluntary camps where he's been.
A.J. Brown is an Eagle.
yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
That's exactly what he would get. Because we're 4 days away. Like
exactly.
At this point,
but I absolutely want to hear from Jalen Hurts. And absolutely, Jalen Hurts will be asked a question about it because the Eagles have arguably the best press corps to cover them in the NFL. McClain's been recognized by his peers as the best beat writer in the NFL by his peers. And then you just talk about the guys that we talk to on a weekly basis and all the time. They're the best. I absolutely think he will be asked a question about.
Do you want them to?
Yes. Wait. I can't wait for the answers.
Do you want them to be asked about A.J. Brown?
Not at all. Like, not even remotely.
Right, why?
There's plenty that I want to hear from Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts that has nothing to do with A.J. Brown. There are some major questions. I know what the answer is on A.J. Brown or the non-answer is. Now, I know they're going to be asked. I'm not going to be mad that they're going to be asked. That's the reality of the situation. But if you ask me this press conference, like how they feel about number 11 is so low on the list for me with these two guys.
Don't ask that question then. Jalen, I gave you the question for Howie. Jalen, are you concerned that you could enter this season without A.J. Brown in your wide receiver room?
Oh, if it's about not having him on the field.
No, that's what I'm saying. That could be the question.
Anything A.J. Brown related.
Jalen, I'm fine with that.
Jalen, are you concerned going into a year where you guys want to bounce back and try to get back to a Super Bowl that you could be doing it without A.J. Brown?
Yeah, I understood this more as like the current situation. Like if it's on the field, what are you going to do with wide receiver 1 leaving the building potentially? Like that all is germane to me. But I'm more focused on, hey, you got a brand new offense. Nick, how much you grabbing the reins? Jalen, how are you feeling about what Sean Mannion and you have talked about? Because he's been effusive in his praise of you. That's what I'm really interested today more than what's going on with AJ.
That's the thing is you're going to get that's where you're going to get the coach speak, player speak answer.
Oh, you're going to for the AJ stuff too.
The AJ, no. Give me the AJ Brown answer.
AJ Brown's an Eagle.
No, that's not. You can't answer that question with that. No. Are you concerned? No. Are you concerned that AJ is not going to be an Eagle in a year where you have to bounce back? That he could be leaving your room. You've obviously heard all the reports. You obviously hear all the buzz. Are you concerned?
Well, he's currently on the roster, so we'll see. That's what you're going to get.
Look, here's
that doesn't answer it though.
I honestly could do without them asking anything about AJ Brown today, and here's why: because the real story won't come out today. The real story
it'll come out June 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
The real story's coming out next week, so they can give me any coach speak or any way to dance around a question they want. The real story from anonymous sources inside the building, that comes out next week. So I honestly, John, I'm hoping to watch both press conferences and not hear a single AJ Brown question because I don't think I'm going to get anything.
I believe it is already, by the way, there are 2 already ready to fire next week.
I'm sure.
Ready to fire.
They're just ready to hit post.
Next week that are going to be, here's what some people are saying of what went down.
And it all happened 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
All right, coming up next. Do you get angry hearing things like what I will tell you next, or do you just tip your cap? That, and it is week 3 of debate day. And John has debates in his DMs. Connor has one.
Funny ones.
I'm glad that debate day's picking up some steam. So we'll start that coming up next. And your answers to what your relationship is with the Phillies, 610-632-0975. And do you want Nick and Jalen to be asked about A.J. Brown today? It's Kincade and Salchunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Kincade and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, it is 6:30 here on Kincade and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Scanning the YouTube chat during the break, our man MBD, one of our questions for you today is whether or not you want Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts to be asked about A.J. Brown. However you want to phrase the question, do you even want A.J. Brown brought up to Sirianni and Hurts, who are speaking for the first time? OTAs began yesterday. MBD says, on the AJ/Jalen thing, I would like to know the origin story of their falling out. Not that I care about the drama, but if their issues force out the best wide receiver in team history, I deserve to know why. I absolutely agree, MBD, which is why coming up at 8:30, 2 hours from now, this show likes to get on the record. We get on the record with predictions of Philly seasons.
Sure.
Sixers games and same game parlays and all that kind of stuff. At 8:30 today,
sometimes we're actually good at it.
We get on the record with what we think was the fallout. So if you want to send in some answers now, like what your theory is of the AJ and Jalen fallout, because at some point I need to try to have fun with it so I don't go crazy. Send them in. You can text them in the Davis Honda text line at 610-632-0975 or YouTube it. So MBD, you and I are on the same page. I would love to know what it is. I don't think we'll know until after the trade. We've talked about this a lot. And you want to say shame on the reporter, say whatever you want, right? Like, there is definitely a reporter that knows a lot and will probably wait until the trade happens.
We're going to find out
next
week.
Put that information out. Absolutely. Or, like you said, within 72 hours. And I told you, I bet my house on that. I found a market that took that kind of money on that kind of a bet.
By the way, John Marks, completely disagrees.
Yeah, I know he does.
He is in complete disagreement. He does not think that he doesn't think there's a story in the chamber. I think there's a story in multiple chambers from multiple writers locally that will come out that is just waiting to be fired off.
Yeah.
Regarding this story.
Has John Marks gambled his house? Because I put my house on the line.
Well, that's dangerous.
Well,
that's why you were doing yard work yesterday.
Damn right, man.
I've got a couch if you need it.
All right, thank you.
That's good.
All right, and we also have debate day. We'll get to in a moment. But real quick, does this make people angry or do they tip their cap when they hear that the Vegas Knights will be going to their 3rd Stanley Cup Finals in their 9 years of their existence?
Makes me admire the Vegas Golden Knights. My buddy Darren Elliott is a vice president with them, so I'm happy for Darren. But makes me a little pissed.
Third appearance.
And they've won
1
one cup. They've won one cup.
Yeah.
They've missed the playoffs one time in their 9 seasons.
That's unbelievable. That's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
And this is, by the way, one of their worst seasons ever.
Right.
This is one of their worst seasons
ever. They fire the coach,
ever.
and then Torch is like, nah, I got this.
Yeah, Torch is like, yeah, give me the keys.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And when you hear stuff like that, and the Knicks are going to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999, and you go, wait a minute, 1, 2, 2 years. 2 year longer drought than what the Sixers had been going through. When you hear that stuff, do you get angry? I don't know how to feel.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't it make you angry a little bit?
I'm almost more amazed that Vegas is doing this than I am angry at the Flyers' lack of ability to get back. It's unbelievable, the expansion.
I'm annoyed at the league a little bit because this to me says that the expansion process, there's something off about that. There's something that needs to be cut back on these expansion teams being able to compete right away. I think you should have to work up more to it. Maybe that's not validating what the Golden Knights have done. But I feel like I'm not annoyed at them. They took advantage of their situation so far as a new franchise or a newer franchise. So it's not a Knights thing; it's an NHL thing.
All right,
trivia. They didn't really. It's not like they had some huge advantage since, but there's an advantage that they've got that a lot of teams use in the NBA and the NHL. The tax-free lifestyle of Nevada.
Yeah, that helps.
And the NHL players, almost all the Golden Knights, live on 3 golf courses.
Oh, yeah. That must be nice.
They're living out there. They're living tax-free. They're not getting their asses taxed off. And they're living in beautiful paradise. And, when they leave the hockey rink, they're in...
Yeah.
The weather's great year-round. And
that's why teams like Miami work as well.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right. Who was the player that they drafted via the Flyers in the expansion draft?
No idea.
Who did they get?
I don't remember. From the
Flyers. How about that Pierre-Edouard Bellemare?
Oh, yeah, of course. How could we forget?
Man, you don't remember that?
We're just talking about him. Connor was just saying if they only had him.
He was one of my guys.
Did you have a jersey of him? Because John Marks and I would like to see your jersey.
That's right. The best jersey,
tomorrow
whether
night.
It's really good or really bad, tomorrow night. I love that. That's awesome.
we're gonna have some fun with that. I heard Bill Colarulo is going to stop on by 2 tomorrow night at the at the Chickies and Pete's in Marlton, New Jersey.
I love that.
So come on by and see us from 6 to 8 p.m. And you're the best Flyers jersey, the worst Flyers jersey, $100 gift cards to Rally House.
Your city, it's your house, man.
It's going to be fun. And Bill will be there to talk about all the things that Mr. Snyder would want to do to this
Austin Matthews,
to this Flyers roster.
Let's go.
Bill wants to go.
I knew a kid named Austin growing up. Let's bring him home.
Bill wants to go back to the future. Let's go back to the golden days of just saying, let's go buy players.
All right. It is debate day. So in case you have not heard us doing this the last 2 weeks, this is week 3 of it. We ask you to tell us what you've been debating recently with your buddies at the bar, your spouse, your kids, whatever it is. And we either settle it if John and I are on the same page, which we were for some of them last week.
I think last week we agreed on all of them, which was weird.
Yeah.
That's not usually, as you know, that's not usually the way it is.
Or we make it worse, and we are also debating it, and then that continues the debate. So we try to help you. What is it that you're debating at home in your own personal lives right now? And it doesn't always have to be sports, even though right now there is a big debate happening on our YouTube chat between MBD, Mopar, and other people about whether or not we should find the real story of Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown.
Well,
we absolutely should get the majority of it.
By the way, you can't ask that question in a press conference because they're never going to answer it.
I know.
No, but some people are going to say,
but it's whether they want to. It's whether or not they want to. I want to know. He is the best receiver in Eagles franchise history, or should have been, I should say.
Should have been.
Should have been.
Remember, the guys, I'm trying to think of the other great Eagles wide receivers in history, and I don't remember any of them quitting on the team during games. I don't remember that ever happening with them.
I do remember sit-ups in the driveway. But
that did happen.
That did happen.
No, T.O. came back. T.O. came back and played on a broken leg.
With a
6 weeks
in his leg. It was unbelievable.
6 weeks after a broken leg. So no matter what nonsense T.O. pulls in his life, I'm always going to remember that.
All right, so if you have a debate that you want us to try to settle or make worse, send them into the Davis on a text line, 610-632-0975. But that's not the only form of communication. Johnny, you said you got a couple in your DMs.
Yes, a couple in the and I'm sorry that I hadn't checked. Like I hadn't checked some of these.
Married.
So there it is. So things went. I'll give you the first one that I got here. Is Andy Reid the all-time best Eagles coach over Nick Sirianni? And this is I can't really understand with the tag if it's someone's first name, last name, everything. So I'm not even going to do it. Is Andy Reid it's the number one thing that him and his buddies debate, and they cannot get together without this coming up.
Nick Sirianni is the greatest head coach in Eagles franchise history. If you asked me, I had one game and I needed to pick between the two, I'm picking Andy Reid. Does that make sense?
No. So what's your answer?
Oh, Nick Sirianni's had the success that Andy Reid never had. He won a Super Bowl.
You're saying Nick Sirianni is the greatest Eagles coach in history.
But if you were to ask me, Kyle Shanahan, I would take Shanahan over Sirianni right now in a one game. I'd take McVay in one game over Sirianni.
Well, I got to tell you, I have to say Nick Sirianni because in the two biggest stage games that I've seen Nick Sirianni coach against Andy Reid, I believe his staff and Nick Sirianni outcoached him. And I believe in regular season, I've seen Nick Sirianni's team appear to outcoach him. So I'm going to give Nick Sirianni the nod and the respect, even though I am a Andy Reid wonk.
All right.
I love Andy.
Connor, where would you fall on that?
I got to go Sirianni. I got to respect the ring.
Well, no, absolutely. But would you take him in a one-game playoff?
Remember, that's not the question.
I know. I'm asking my own. It's debate day, damn it.
Wow, double debate.
I would take Andy Reid still in a one-game.
I would also take it. Is it off a bye week? Well, I guess
Sirianni's undefeated.
Sirianni's great off the bye week.
Yes, give me Andy Reid. Like the gut feels Andy Reid is the better, in a vacuum coach, but Eagles resume, it's Sirianni.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts goes down as the best quarterback in Eagles franchise history because of what he's been able to accomplish. Not just winning the Super Bowl because, Nick Foles did it. Hurts has done more. Hurts is the greatest quarterback in Eagles franchise history.
But the most talented, you could make a case for McNabb. So
yeah, exactly.
No, I will make the case.
Yeah, I'll make the case.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard if Randall had a real coach offensively? Randall Cunningham could have been the best. So, look, these are all debates that you have at the bar. And that's why we do debate day on hump day.
And the one thing which is interesting is what you just did is what he complains about is he says it always happens. No one can just keep the question to the question. With Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, the question is who is the greatest coach? Not spiraling off into other questions. What's the question? I have to give it to Nick Sirianni.
I want Doug Peterson.
Because Nick Sirianni's the guy.
I will agree with that question.
He's the guy.
It's Nick Sirianni.
Yep. What can you do?
Coming up next, we'll get more of those throughout the course of the show on this Wednesday debate day. Now, speaking of debates, our relationship question about the Phillies today. We want some of your responses on it. What's your relationship with the Phillies? Do you like them? Do you like the group of players? Do you even look at the group of players anymore, or are you only looking at results? I wonder how many people feel the way John Kincade feels about MV3 right now. It's Kincade and Sal Chunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade and Sal Chunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now it is 6:47 here on Kincade and Sal Chunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, buckle up. Bryce Harper is a topic of conversation this morning via email from this guy named John Kincade.
He always is.
Phillies get the win yesterday, 4-3. Our question for you today, what is your relationship like with the Phillies? And I thought of this question because yesterday, literally at the end of the show, I was like, I'll probably be dozing off watching Aaron Nola give up runs. And that's wrong. But it's also right to think that could be a possibility with the way Aaron Nola's pitched the last two seasons with his ERA over 6.
You've had a couple of these bad fan moments, but the thing is, you're very honest.
Yeah, I'm always honest.
And the thing is, you're honest about it. And I think it's very relatable because I believe the average fan in this town can very much relate to what you're saying.
Yeah, how many people in Philadelphia, when Nola gives up a home run, goes, this guy? I would imagine when everybody...
When Connor said last night, when you put that tweet out, Connor, it was very relatable that this is the Aaron Nola experience that we've come to.
ERA plummeted yesterday, though, 5.72.
You know what, though, is that gosh, I want to see them with a Red October, so I'm hoping that.
Yeah, of course. Go Nola. I don't root against them. Let's go, Aaron.
I know you're not rooting against them. I'm like, okay, come on, Aaron. Let's do it.
Right.
See what you can do.
Now, Bryce Harper has a nice night yesterday, and I wake up to an email from John Kincade.
No, this email came before that game.
Okay, well, I don't check my email at night.
Well, I know you do.
That.
Pop up. You're asleep, pop up.
No, I just value other things in life more than my emails at 8 o'clock at night.
Well, I don't have a little kid to bathe.
Yeah.
Read a bedtime story too. I've called Live in Utah. And like said, you want me to read you a bedtime story? She's like, Dad, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yes, sir. Well, she's also 2 hours behind us, right?
I got it. Exactly. She's loving that, by the way.
So go ahead. Let's talk about Bryce.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. Is that I wanted to revisit it because we're a third of the way through the season.
All right.
And Bryce was offended at the not elite comments from Dave Dombrowski. That was what the entire offseason was about. He was offended at the not elite comments. So let's check in. Bryce Harper is not having a season that is matching even his career average in most categories. Not even his average career year. So the whole idea is that I don't want to say Dave Dombrowski's right, even though I do believe Dave Dombrowski's right. He hasn't played at an elite level for a couple of years. He's not an elite player. He isn't the Ohtani levels, the Judge levels, the elite players. And the fact that Bryce was so offended by it and made it such a big deal really sort of bothered me that he was. But I thought it was going to drive him. I thought it was going to really drive him to say, shove it.
Do you think he has not been driven?
I think he's been good. I think he's been good. It's been a good year. But the thing is, it's been I expected more of a
what did you expect?
I thought he was going to be more of a force personally. I thought he was going to be, first off, he talked about in the spring about how healthy he was. And he was glad to feel healthy. And, this is the best he's felt and how healthy. And I don't know if it was the raw milk or whatever.
Well, and so far, he's having a better season than last year.
He is. He is absolutely.
With his health.
He absolutely is. He's having a better year than last. But it is the improvement is over last year is rather marginal. It's rather marginal. But most importantly, for his career averages, he's actually below in almost every category where his career average is. And to me, when I hear people talk about Bryce Harper's season this year, people are talking about it, and I hear it on this radio station even as if he's having a great year. Not having a great year.
All right, let me ask you something. If he finished the season batting .270 with 35 home runs and 96 RBI, would you take that?
Would I take it? Absolutely.
He's on pace for it right now.
By the way, I think he's getting screwed, and I will say this for Bryce Harper. I think he's getting screwed by his home runs, which I've been really excited about the home runs.
He's at 13 already.
Because I'm thinking, right now I'm looking at it, he's on pace for a 38 home run season or wherever it is. Because I think he's getting screwed by the fact that Trey Turner can't be on base.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's other things that people aren't getting on base for him. So there are things
that he doesn't have a guy behind him in the
There are things that I will say in his favor as far as I'm concerned. No, I'm talking about his RBI numbers and stuff like that. So I do believe there are some things that in his favor he's getting screwed. But overall, I'm not going to be like this. Oh, he's having a great year.
He's pacing out right now for his highest home run total as a Philly.
That is correct.
His second highest RBI total as a Philly.
And he is on pace right now. He's pacing. He is below right now. He is below his career averages right now, where he's at in many categories.
But that's the career average of a two-time MVP and future first ballot Hall of Famer.
And that is where I'm revisiting the discussion of the offseason, where he was upset because the general manager or the president of Pobo, to speak your terms, Connor, the Pobo said he was not elite. That is what I'm revisiting. He was offended that he was being called not elite. He's showing again. He's not elite. He's having a good year, though. He's having a good year.
Yeah. But between him and Matt Olson, they're like toe-to-toe best first base in the National League right now.
But he's not. But he is. The whole idea is that he's not elite. And that is what he let his whole get in my feelings, try to shame the Pobo. try to embarrass the Pobo, wear the shirt, embarrass him, let me call him out. That was what this was all about. Whereas the Pobo is sitting there at the third mark going, yeah, he's not elite. Good year. He's having a good year.
I would say better than good. I don't think good is enough to say what Bryce Harper is.
Okay, how about this?
He's having a very good season.
I'm not going very good, but I'll give you good.
He's number one or second best first baseman in the National League right now.
Okay.
Like he is. And he's definitely the second best player on your baseball team right now.
Well, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna give you that on a the let's just put it this way. This isn't the Miss Brazil or Miss Venezuela pageant. We're not talking about a bevy of beauties that we're deciding who is the second best good-looking person in it.
But like we say about
not that I
Kyle Schwarber last year,
a few times.
If Kyle Schwarber wasn't on the Phillies last year, they're not in the playoffs. I could say the same thing about Bryce Harper with his season right now. They're not a game over 500, if not for what Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber have been able to accomplish.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that with you. I am not gonna argue that point.
Like they are carrying a baseball team. Or two guys are carrying a baseball team right now. Offensively, the pitching staff. 1 and 3. You're right, Brandon Marsh.
But
the pitching
Sanchez
staff
too.
Yeah, I'm saying like the everyday guys. Like of the everyday players, those 3, including Brandon Marsh, who hopefully he comes back relatively soon with the injury.
The middle finger inflammation.
He talked after the game last night, so he should be fine.
Did he give anybody the middle finger, though? That doesn't seem like Brandon because he's very charming.
So, where are you at with Harper? We had this topic last year when it was not going well.
See, that went well, though, because like we agreed on more there than we disagreed on. But it's the idea is that
I think you're underselling what he's doing.
No, but what I'm telling you is that his offense of the offseason, he was proven wrong. He's proven wrong. He's not elite.
All right.
He's been proven wrong.
Now, I have another question that I want to ask, and I'm going to tie it to football.
Okay.
And a relatable topic that we have with football all the time about Bryce Harper. That comes your way next, and more debate day. All right? Your debates that you guys are having at the bar or at home will either help it or hurt it. We'll get into that next here on The Fanatic.